guests from the IBNS as well. Thank you for coming. And we have apologies from John Veltmeyer. We have John Minicus, Barry Towers, Les Carlisle, Robert Toner, Ian Seisland, Bruce Short, Marie Brad and Colin Pitchfork. Is there any other apologies or no other apologies? Okay. No. Okay. So now we're going to general business or?
Yep.
Okay. General business. Our next meeting is on the 9th of April and that'll be at Phyllis House at 8 p.m. And the topic is Japan and Korea. So bring all your Korean and Japanese coins. And we have our conference on the public holiday, Monday the 13th of June at Phyllis at between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. There's still a few spots for members to give a talk. So if you want to give a talk, you see Rod here. And also give him the title of your talk, or can you just say you want to talk and give the title that, or does it matter? Or?
People can talk about whatever they like.
Oh, okay, right.
They've got the half an hour.
Okay.
And actually, the talk is about 20 minutes, because it takes a few minutes to set up.
Oh, okay.
20-minute talk. It is 5 minutes to answer questions. And then, if you're lucky, we break for afternoon and morning tea. And then the next one.
Oh, okay.
But we start off with Colin Pitchfork, followed by David me. Then we have morning tea. Then we have Ross Prattley and Bruce Short.
Oh, okay.
And then we have lunch.
Oh, lunch, right, okay. That's BYO? BYO?
Yeah, bring your own lunch. But the ANS will supply morning and afternoon tea. Basically, tea and coffee and biscuits.
So that's the first, is this going to be ongoing or is this the one-off? Or?
Well, this is the Queen's birthday long weekend.
Oh, okay.
But we normally don't have a meeting.
Oh, that's true.
And we've missed so many meetings because of COVID and what next, so we said, let's have a conference.
No, that's good.
It's the Monday long weekend, so anybody who hasn't gone away is around. It's probably going to be pretty easy to get there 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah,
and
will be, yeah.
when you're going home in the afternoon, well, you're probably going against the traffic. So. And our members in the IBNS are welcome to attend the conference as well.
Yeah.
And you can even give a talk if you want. want to put a plug in.
Talk, yeah. On whatever subject you wish. As long as it's numismatic.
Yeah. You know, a lot of them, Scott, haven't seen New Zealand banknotes before, so you know. Right.
It took us 10 years to get him to speak the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, a new captured audience. Right. Well.
Oh, do we have Jim?
Yep. Jim. All over to you, sir.
Okay. I invite you now to do your talk on the auction that's coming up in March and beginning.
You'll tell us about it, and you hang on to that because when he's finished talking. You're giving it the next piece of wallpaper.
Oh, that's right.
But this one's different, Jim, because it's going to have a different signature on it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's me. It's a rarity, yeah. You're going to sell it for a fortune one day.
Well, everybody's got access to a catalogue. We can go through it. I'll go through the lots in catalogue order. But before we start on showing the coins, I want to show you a coin that's coming up in the July auction. There's a collection, a special collection we'll be doing a separate catalogue for, which is advertised in the front of this current auction. It's a collection of English proof coins from 1826 through to 1970, and it includes all the sets, £5 down, and original cases and things. And the highlight of the sale is this beautiful Una and the Lion £5 piece, which Rodney won't drop, please.
No, I'll try not to drop it.
I'm showing you this because I think it's probably for most of you the first time you've seen one. It's a pretty famous coin. There's a fairy tale about Una, and Wine's depicted Una as Queen Victoria with the lion. And it's if you Google it, it's quite a long story from the 14 or 1500s, like a fairy tale. But it's one of England's most famous coins and been bringing record prices in recent auctions. I've sold two of them before. Sold one back in 1980 81, and then I sold a set in one of our sales about 20 years ago when I had 2 5-guinea pieces which didn't sell, but we sold the Unit and the Lion set for $50,000. So that's when you should have been putting your money in, boys. They're worth about $500,000 now. This coin, I'm not quite sure on the estimate, but it's in the top 5% in condition now, and it's not slabbed. So it's nice. Most of the coins in this collection are not slabbed, and we will get better photographs of the coins when they're not in slabs. So we're very happy about that. I've known the collector for a long time. It's a one-owner collection, and it's worth about $2 million a collection. So it'll be sold on 7:30 on the Wednesday, the 27th of July, over here at the State Library. So I thought I'd show you that while you could see it. You want to see the other side?
Yeah,
You've
I've seen
seen
it.
You've seen it? Yeah.
Yeah, we've turned it over, but
William Wine was a great engraver, and this is a beautiful piece of work. As you know, he did the second type Sydney Mint Sovereign.
you can see W Wine on the neck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The base of the neck is
This is quite beautiful.
lovely.
So that's something special coming up.
What lot number was that?
That's not in this sale, it's in July.
July.
July auction.
I thought I'd advertise it and show it first. I'll go and put it away. Bob,
This is the carrot.
you want to do that? Thank you. I don't want to lose it. Can't afford to lose that.
How many of them are floating around, Jim?
Look, there's probably a 50,
50.
50 or 100. There's some in museums. I've never done a survey, but the owner of this collection is very meticulous. He's writing quite a few descriptions for us. The main task for us now is to get them photographed. So going through our sale that's coming up in 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Australian goes up. It's all selling at the State Library, except for the book section, which is the 20th session, and it's got Laurie Sherwin, who's a former member who passed away, his library, but that's being sold online only, so you don't have to attend the auction to bid on them. You can bid online, but even though it's the 20th session, it commences on the Monday at 9:30 a.m. So don't get tricked. The book section, you virtually have to submit your bids before the auction proper starts.
The Monday before the auction.
Yeah. So that's confusing, but that's the best way for us to handle the accounts and registering bidders and things like that. I hate it, but you know, if the young people want everything online and no printed catalogues and no room sales, and it takes all the fun out of it, all the stress. So I mean, I'll submit bids because you know, if I don't bid and no one bids, they won't sell. I've got to make sure they sell. So we go in the usual order with the miscellaneous Australian coins, and I've got a mistrike here that came in recently. It's a 5 cents of 2007. I think it's 2007, isn't it? And it's a double obverse. These got out into circulation.
Whoops, we've lost the picture. Okay.
This is estimated at $1,000 worth picking up for that. They're quite rare.
Is it 2000?
2000 and what's the date?
7.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 2007.
That must be right.
And I've had this is about the third or fourth one I've had.
Double header.
Yeah.
Oh, double header. Okay.
So it's not one that
You don't have to take prescriptions, Matthew.
You don't?
no, it's all on YouTube.
On YouTube, and we've got the numbers.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a good thing to have if you're collecting Australian errors. The next one is the start of the historical medals, which commence at after all the decimal proofs and decimal mint sets and things. This is at 2:30 in the afternoon on the Tuesday, and we start out with some convict love tokens. There's an example of an engraved one. It's lot 415, and the description of that is that it's to William Tooley, aged 18, transported for 7 years. July the 3rd, Forget Me Not, Dear Elizabeth, 1832. And the full details of his record on the Convict Records of Australia site. So it's an authentic piece, estimated at $3,000. Very popular with museums and with historical collectors. Yeah, the stipple engraving's pretty typical of what they did in those days. They made these as keepsakes. You could buy them. Some people, workmen, were working away producing them. There's another one, the following lot, which is estimated at 1,300, and then progressively they get cheaper, depending on how important we think they are. In the historical medals, and I know Les is not here tonight, so I'm glad I don't have a lot out to show him. But there's one that intrigues me, lot 428. It's the Intercolonial Exhibition in Victoria in 1866. It's a medal I've never had before, and it's suggested that it may have been a pattern, because it's estimated at $500. Not in great condition, but it's gilded bronze by T. Stokes.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's an Intercolonial Exhibition Victoria 1866. But the exhibition continued till 1867, so most medals have 1866-67 date on them.
Looks like the three graces, doesn't it?
Well, there's four figures there.
Yeah.
So personification of Victoria standing and facing,
Yes, sir.
receiving her 6 sisters. 6 sisters?
There must be
Bring her.
one of this. One.
Well, John O'Connor's catalogued it, so I hope he got it right.
Oh, yeah, there's the last two on
Okay.
the left, you can see there's two faces in each. Yeah, so there are
There's one. Oh, there's one. There's 6 there. 6 there. Yeah, there is.
Okay.
So
there are
You're
six.
making me more interested in this medal. When we talk about it. I've never had it before. Has anyone seen it before?
No.
I know. Peter, you haven't seen it before? No. So after the historical medals, of which there are quite a few great pieces, there is a group of medals that are very large for the 1879 Sydney exhibition. Here's a large silver one, awarded to Major
What's the lot
Lot 448,
Thanks.
C.E. Cracknell, of the Torpedo Corps and Superintendent of Telegraphs in Sydney. So large silver medal, it's very fascinating. There is a series of medals awarded to this gentleman, came from one person who are in beautiful condition, and there's some other ephemera that goes with it, so it's a great collection. And recently we've been selling some good 1879, and one man's been buying them in particular. He's very excited about the 1879 exhibition, so I guess the vendor realises that and decided to put these up. Just these large medals are very heavy and very prone to dented on the edge if you drop them on the concrete or something. You've got to be careful with them.
What's the estimate on this one?
For
3.5.
448?
2,500.
3,500.
I think it's
That's reasonable.
fascinating. I think it's fascinating because it's the torpedo corps. I mean, you don't think of these things, do you? You think of submarines when you look at torpedoes.
Yeah.
Now, this one's the one before, which is in beautiful condition. It's 1874 for the Superintendent of Telegraphs, E.C. Cracknell, 1874. So he was in that position prior to the exhibition in 1879. And later on in the catalogue, there's the official judge's pass in silver, which is a rare piece, and then there's the committee members' admission badge in gold. So it's quite a good series, but each one's offered as an individual lot, and a note's under each lot to say, see lot 446 for the footnote. So the first medal offered is, in the collection, is dated 1870. And in that he was for services rendered. So I'll put those away. And when we got past the historical medals, we get to a small section of tokens. and in it is, where do we? Yeah, in the small section of tokens there is a previously unknown example of Thornthwaite's James Campbell threepence of Morpeth, New South Wales, which was made about 1854, and only £5 worth was struck. So it's a great rarity, always been a famous token. I remember buying my first one from Kingston and it had a hole in it, but I was very excited to get it. I think I bought it about 1960 or 61. But this is turned up with this family. I said, well, I'll get you about 6,000 for this. So it's come down in a family that had something to do with property up there at Morpeth. You wanting the pass? Yeah, good. Nice to see you, Ross. We just started not long ago. You've missed a couple of good things.
You'll be in time for the banknotes.
The Thornthwaite, of course, is the great colonial maker. The next one that comes up is in the fourth session at 4:30. You've got some New Guinea coins, including some German New Guinea. Then there's a very good collection of New Zealand coins formed by a Sydney collector. Sorry, the first is a Waitangi crown, one of two in the collection.
Do you have a Waitangi crown, Scotty?
This is a proof coin. It's estimated at 7,500, lot 643. Purchased in Sydney from M.R. Roberts with their ticket.
It's nice.
It is nice.
Graham Morris bought one of these from Mowbray not that long ago. Waitangi crown, he always wanted one. But it's not as nice as that one.
That's the rarity now is the Centennial half crown in proof. Only a few of these are in private hands, 3 in fact. This one was, I think I sold this some time ago. It's estimated 7,500, very rare. So most New Zealand collectors wouldn't have one, nearly all of them I'd say. The next one is lot 648, is the proof crown of the proposed royal visit in 1949, together with a normal example for comparison, but the proof is really rare. There's only about 4 in private hands. And that's estimated at 15,000. Recently in America, one sold for over 25,000 US.
They could go for the same amount here.
Yeah, well, we've estimated at 15,000. It was bought from M.R. Roberts, originally from Pacific Coin Company, Jim Johnson. So in this New Zealand collection, there's a very nice 1947 proof set where you get all the denominations in cupra and nickel, half crown down to threepence. So a total of 5 coins for 15,000. They're very rare, these early proof record coins of the Royal Mint. They're the highlight of any New Zealand collection. Another set here is lot 656, which is 4 coins of 1954 of Elizabeth. The previous set, of course, was George VI. This is Elizabeth.
Mintage 10.
Yeah. So it's exceedingly rare set. I mean, there's only about 4 sets known in private hands. We sold some of these originally out of, I didn't track the pedigrees on all these because you don't get time often, unless the collector records these things. Some of them would have come out of Museum Victoria, duplicates possibly, when we sold those quite a few years ago. This set here is a complete set for all denominations, except for the half crown, which didn't get struck for 1964. This is the 1964 set of 6 coins. I was showing it to a collector, he said, I'm going to buy that. I said, good, something sold at last. There's a seat over there, Ross. In the currency coins, one of the really scarce dates is the 1936 florin. It started the George V series. They're offered by range, so there's half crowns of florin. It's not necessarily a complete collection for every date, but it's high grade material in New Zealand. And we want the New Zealanders to start appreciating their own stuff more. They've been very weak of late, particularly on banknotes.
Rude, isn't it?
She said he's got them all.
Well, decimal, yeah, maybe. Oh dear.
No, I've got everything.
We'll see.
Hey, Ross.
So this little threepence of George the Sixth is interesting because it's one of about three in the sale, and I only show it to you because it's the one that's always recorded as the one with one dot missing or on the right hand side in the punctuation. They forgot to put it in, I think, in the die, and it's got full original mint bloom, so it's one of the finest known. Estimate is $7.50. I mean, you can get them in VF and EF condition much cheaper, but this is one of the top ones I've seen, if not the best. So there are some nice New Zealand coins, so that's a feature of the auction. The mist strikes have some interesting ones. This one's interesting in that it's lot 742. It features a proof florin of 1965 struck without a collar, so the edge is plain. They call it a broad strike. It was purchased from
It's a normal
Roberts
one?
with their ticket and a normal currency issue with it.
And that's, yeah.
And it's unusual to see a proof florin as a mist strike.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in the finish of the normal 65 florin and that one. They did make specimen sets in 65, so either you call it a proof or a specimen, but someone's made a big mistake with it anyway, and it's got out. I find that an interesting one. That's why I'm showing it to you. And there, in the same collection, there are about 3 or 4 beautiful tokens. This is one of Brown and Duthie, and one of my big collectors hasn't got a good one of these, so I'm hoping he watches the YouTube and studies it. I'll try and buy it for him.
There you are, Frank, and another New Zealand token for you.
It's in lovely condition. That's Mount Taranaki over there in New Plymouth. Beautiful, 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 beautiful looking thing. Yeah, there are 3 or 4 really good New Zealand tokens.
Oh, that's nice too.
Brown and Duthie.
Yep.
That is nice.
And then there's this one here, Archibald Clark of Auckland, 1857.
A lot of them purchased from him out of Roberts, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, he's a Sydney guy, and he. I didn't name him, but you know, some people.
You shot one of those, didn't you? Archibald Clark?
It's rare.
Well, they used to always have it twice.
It's rare in this condition.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
made
It-
1200.
Frank's was not in this condition, I can assure you. But he did have New Zealand tokens.
I can try.
So-
Start somewhere.
Then we go to the night session, where we offer the usual Australian colonial coins and starting with proclamation coins. So there's a Joanna, just to show that we do have a couple of the larger gold coins in the series.
That's nice.
That's nice.
What's the lot now?
That's lot
854.
85.
It's estimated at 6,000. Brazil, John V, 12,800 rees, or Joanna as we call them, in Governor King's proclamation.
You should call them going, that's it.
Well, it's just named after John.
Oh, so
Johannes, yeah.
So And you've got to make sure it is John when you call them Joannas, but we call them ones of Mary and everything, half Joannas.
Anything that's
that
looks,
denomination.
yeah.
So that's a coin of what
869.
869. That's a Spanish one, 8 escudos of Charles III, 1775. And some good, very fine. Reputed to have been brought over by Governor Phillip.
Nice.
So it's estimated 2,200. Now, in colonial coins there's a really nice dump, well struck and centred. Lot 870. I've called it good, very fine. It's got a blue-grey tone. It's Myra dies A1, and it estimates 30,000. We seem to be able to sell dumps in that quality for that sort of money these days. People seem to compete for them.
Did you ever have that one once before, Jim?
I probably have. As I say, I didn't have time to really look up all these. They come from things that become spread around, and when they come back to you, if they don't tell you the pedigree, I mean, you can find them, but who's got the time? It'll take me a day maybe to find them through all our catalogues. Colin can go to Coin Archives and find this if we've had it. On Coin Archives we have all our coins going back to sale 44, but only back to sale 44, which is 1994. And you can find any dump that we've sold, hundreds of them. That's a slab dump. It's in a PCGS holder as VF20.
Seem to be going that way now, a lot of them.
So that's a reasonable coin in that it's clear on both sides. You can see all the detail. Slightly more worn than the other one. I've called this one nearly very fine. And its estimate is 15,000.
Looks like it has a NJ on it.
NJ?
Just near the,
No, this one here it is.
yeah.
Well, it could be a counter mark or anything. I haven't described it.
Yeah, under the O of South is one of the initials, and under the W of New looks like a J.
Is that a number? Oh no, that's a new.
Let me have a look at it.
That's a new.
Initially I thought it was JN, and I was thinking, oh, Jim's been at this stump.
I really wonder if it's just damage or something.
Yeah.
Could feed it.
Just looks like a little initial, yeah.
Okay, so 872 is the cracked Adelaide pound. You don't get these too often. It's been put in a slab by PCGS as AU58, which means it's really a good, extremely fine. It's got some original mint bloom. They're hard to photograph in slabs, but it's a very good example.
Yeah, a lot of them going that way now.
And it's probably at 175,000. It's a chance, you know. It was sold back in 2012. This specimen for 250,000. So it could be an opportunity. That's now 10 years ago. And there's a die 2 here, which is just about perfect. In a slab as MS62. It's got full original mint bloom and it's in an early strike.
23 carats.
One of the finest known. It was bought from Monetarium, I think, years ago for 100,000. No, sorry, 110,000. I said I'll try and get you 100,000. I've got a lot of eager buyers in the Australian Numismatic Society.
All we have to do is win.
Win the offer.
Okay, here's an interesting one. A Port Phillip gold coin, but it's not in gold. It's a restrike in copper. And, you know, it could be unique in that die state. It's not too bad.
What's the estimate?
12,500.
And what would a gold one be? A lot more?
Million. Million's nothing these days to the big coin buyer.
I was an ounce of gold.
No.
It failed, the Port Phillip thing. The dies remain with Stokes, but they've got mixed up and they're in the museum now. And the 1 ounce is known as an original striking, apart from the set that's in the British Museum, in a couple of places, I think. And there's a ½ ounce original which I've sold, and about 3/4 ounces, but no original 2 ounce. But is this struck in 1893? Is this struck in 1917, or was it struck in 1956? It's hard to tell. You have to study all examples and try and work it out. First type Sydney Mint Sovereign, 1855. It's been slabbed by NGC as AU58, but it's an open slab, so it's an interesting form. It's graded as extremely fine with mint bloom. 12,500 is the estimate. Very popular coin, the 1855 sovereign. I had one in a slab I thought would probably bring 20 or 25. I brought 49,000. A couple of sales back. So the market is variable, but you know, if you want to buy a good coin overseas, I tried to buy for a collector a couple of French Anglo-Gallic style coins, and I was underbidder on both for the guy. I think David Mee must have outbid me.
I haven't bought any of that for a long time. I'm still hanging on to mine and watch them go up every year.
It was estimated at 3,000. We bid 12, and it went for 13.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You got to bid live these days, or you don't get a thing.
Yeah, I had a bloke bidding for us. He just was the underbidder. There's no point in bidding on you. If they want it and don't want you to have it, that's it. They've got the wherewithal. But I don't mind. He'll try again. He's a patient man.
At least you made it a decent price for the seller. You know, create a good market.
This is a 1880. It's 1860. This is the rare date. Apart from 1858, this is the rarest date. It's very hard to get in top grade. We were lucky a few turned up out of India quite a while ago. That's probably one of them. Got a bit of reverse rim filing, which the Indians, naughty people, trying to get a bit of gold. So,
Nice.
yeah, it is lovely. Estimate 4,500. Very rare in that condition. Now here's an 1859 half sovereign, and still the record holder for that coin is sitting in the room here today. But this is not the same example. This is uncirculated. 1980 it went for 54,000, a 59 half sovereign. This one's only 15,000. Lovely condition, eh? I've called it uncirculated. One of the finest known. Does it look good? Can you see it? Right,
Yeah, that's what.
You're not going to sleep, eh?
No.
Especially those on the left. Okay, so that's a nice one. In proofs and patterns, after all the gold coins, we come up to Australian Commonwealth proofs and patterns. We've got a good section here, again from different people, but this one's a square penny, estimated at 25,000. It's been graded as uncirculated. It's got a couple of spots on the reverse. Carbon, nickel seems to go like that, and a bit of spittle. It will turn into a carbon spot if it happens. Not much you can do about it. I remember selling one of these, I think it was Tom Handley's, for 90,000. Same variety.
I wish I had that sort of money.
Dealer down, well, this is only 25 now. Coins are going backwards. So there are fashions, and that was very popular for buyers and investment. That's back in 2008 8 or something. So you see, it's 14 years ago now. This is a beautiful example. I showed this to a collector, and I think he's keen on it, of the 1934 Florin. Not only is it proof, but it's a beautiful looking thing. Beautiful
That
condition.
is nice.
I've called it Brilliant Gem FDC.
It is. That it is.
And it's estimated at 30,000. I can remember selling the whole set for about $700. If only I could keep everything I've ever had, then there wouldn't be a market, would there?
We all say that, Jim. We all say
The
that.
Thruppets is from the same collector, and it's beautiful too. Bought again from Roberts. It's a gem.
Is this the same chip they had in New Zealand?
Yeah, it's a gem coin.
A nice collection.
Beautiful, untouched. A yummy coin. Just don't worry about the money, just buy it.
Unfortunately, you would want to get paid.
Yeah, I have to get paid because the vendors are very, very hungry for money. I don't know why. They have all these coins for use and then they want money. This is a proof crown. I put 20,000 on this. Seems to be pretty good condition too. They can be, you know, played around with a bit crowns, and you've got to be careful when you're grading them. Yeah, I've graded as FDC. There's plenty. There's a chair up the end. Yeah, you're right. Yep, I'm standing anyway. With the young, strong ones. Now this is the 1952 proof set in the same collection. Estimate 35,000. Really, in that condition. Funnily enough, from another collector, we got another 52 pair, and they're a bit more toned, and they're individually 12,000 each. So conditions everything with proof, so you know.
That's a nice one.
Now that's men today make an inquiry, wanted to know was the colour true to the photograph, so we said yes. Whereas the others are a bit darker, the photograph a bit lighter. This is the 30 penny, the best of the two 30 pennies, the currency coins, and I've graded it as amongst the finest 20 known, in good, very fine condition. It's got a nearly full centre diamond. So the estimate's 35,000. It's about time 30 pennies went up. Sold one. I missed one. A bloke put it in another bloke's auction. I couldn't understand it. He's in Brisbane. But his father used to buy from them, so I understand.
Yeah, circulate. Yeah, you can see it in circulation.
1930 penny. People
Six pearls.
always. You don't find them turning up loose anywhere now. Now we're going to world coins, which that's the end of the first day, and so the next morning we start with world coins with A to Z in several sessions. I'm not going to go through that many of them, but there's in amongst China, where there's always a lot of bidding interest, there's various vendors, and this particular one bought a few coins in the old days, and I looked at it and I thought, is this right? Can this be right? Pretty rare one. It's Chang Zhou Lin Pattern Memorial Silver Dollar. It's got a Khan number, 26.88 grams, Tianjin mint. So it's right weight wise. I've said it's toned with a dusty appearance, good, very fine, and very rare, 1500. We'll see what happens. A lot of these coins end up going to the slabbers who either say they're genuine or not genuine. It's a difficult market. You've got to know your apples. And while the Americans are getting record prices, they're getting them for beautiful proofs and things that you know are right. But that's a coin that could have been mishandled. Have you seen it before, Rodney?
No. No, I haven't seen that one.
I've got the usual Sun Yat-sen junk dollars and
Mementos.
Yuan Shai Kai Fat Man dollars, and they're here in
Do you have
varying
the-
grades.
Do you have the Sun Yat-sens with the birds, sir?
No, I don't have that one, but I have one junk dollar in copper.
Ah, okay.
But I haven't. I
Unusual.
decided not to show you. Yeah, it's here. There's a good collection of Denmark and from an old time collection, and then there's a good collection of Norway from the same collection, a good collection of Italian, but in the Indian
Yeah, you have
coins,
to look at this.
lot 1230 is one of these very interesting zodiacal mohurs of the Emperor Jahangir, the Mughal Emperor, 1605 to 1628. This is a 1617, 1618. Well, someone's typed the wrong date. They've got 1818, 1618. It's a bull charging to the right. Behind is the rising sun, and it's estimated at 6,000. It should create a bit of interest. You haven't seen that one before. And there's in the Italian coins, a lot of coins of Naples, the early ones, when the Spanish kings were in charge, and also Sicily. I've just listed them in chronological order. Lot 1387 is a crown of Naples under Spanish rule with Ferdinand IV of Bourbon, Piesta, with on the reverse the band of the zodiac with the signs of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, those of the months following the departure of the sovereigns, and the sun illuminating the globe. So it's an interesting reverse. It's from Dr. Laurie Sherwin's collection, and he bought it from John J&P O'Connor in 1981. It's only $150. So if you look in the world coin section for the Sherwin coins, they're not in high grade, but they're very interesting coins historically, and an opportunity to buy coins you wouldn't normally be able to get at reasonable prices if they don't make you pay too much.
That interesting gem, the lady there, his wife, that's the sister of Mary Antoinette.
There you are, there's a man with knowledge. Collins catalogued it and he's put down Carolina. Maria Carolina, is it? Or he said M. Carolina. So he doesn't talk about her. He should have. But sometimes you could write a whole page on these coins.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to make the catalogue any bigger than it is, really.
No, I can't. I was worried about this one. I thought we might produce a separate military catalogue, but we didn't in the end. Now, in the collection of Norway, there is one good rarity. This is a Christian IV of Denmark silver quarter species dollar by Peter Gruner, 1646. It's attractively toned, very fine and very rare, with an estimate of 6,000. So it's probably beyond most of your budgets, but it's the best of the Norwegian coins or the Scandinavian coins. Definitely.
You collect Norway, Matthew?
Yeah, I do, but just a little bit of my reach.
There are a lot of inexpensive Norway, goes right through to the 20th century. There's lots of them, see pages of them.
Yeah, there is.
So you'll have a field day there. You've got to get in and buy these while you can.
Just have a look at your bank account balance, haven't
Yeah,
you?
it's going to go downward.
And there's in the other part of the world coins, one interesting country is Tibet. And Mark Friel always had good Tibet, and I remember him exhibiting and getting some in the early days of the society. And these are under the theocracy. This is lot 1542, a silver 1 shrang of Dodi mint, the plain edge. Collins says it's nearly extremely fine with a golden yellow patination on the obverse and blue red patina on the rear. Very rare, a very rare 1 year type coin, estimated at 2,000, ex-Marquis Friel collection. A similar example in a Heritage World Coins auction in Hong Kong in June 21 realised 24,000 US. So I don't know where the market's going to be on these. But last time we had Tibet, they were very, very strong. So I was very happy. These were in a little Ilford film box laid on tissue paper, all these coins. Very interesting what he'd collected. Such a long time ago. This one here is similar thing, 1 Shrang, but it's a very rare 1 year type coin. And again, one sold at stacks for 10,000. 1,500, it doesn't have the line on it. So, Chinese like Tibet coins.
No.
So that's why there's strength in the market. We've got Russian coins, but I haven't mentioned them. They're here in the sale. It's a no-go zone now.
You're not collecting them here.
1544 is another 1 Shrang. I thought I'd show you these because you won't see them again easily. That one's not more reasonable. It's only $2,000. It's much the same as the earlier one I showed you with the line on one side and
Very similar.
the,
Yeah.
on the reverse, but different date, 1919. It's 1919. So the interesting coins they made. Then they had these ones that they traded from Sichuan, you know, the trade coinage. That's a very rare quarter rupee. You see the rupees quite a lot. The Sichuan China Mint. That one's estimated 300. A similar example in our sale 121 realised 1800. So I think Colin's trying to tell you he's put 300 on it, but really you should pay more. I think that's the message there. What do you do with these things? You look them up in Kraus, they might be catalogued low. We'll look at what's been happening in the market. So it's very rare to get the little fractional denominations. That's the quarter. This is the half. And the half, similar example in Steve Albin's auction in 2020, September 21, realised 2,200 US. We've got 500 on this one, the half rupee. Okay. Bit of history being recorded here to go on the YouTube, to go into permanent memory. 1556 is another one from Mark's collection, a silver rupee. And there are varieties of these showing different stages of dress on them, whether they're wearing a necklace or a collar or that sort of thing. I've even got one in the sale from the late Gordon Shortland's collection, estimated 150. The next one is a really nice condition one from Mark's collection, a rupee. Colin's catalogue is toned very fine, but it's actually looking a lot better than that. It's my way of thinking. After the world coins, include some USA and many bulk lots, world coins with hundreds of coins. And then the world historical medals, which includes maybe a few World's Columbian Exhibition 1892, 93 in Chicago, where there might be Australian company recipients. Then we go into British, a 4:30 session on the second day, the 9th session, and this coin's an interesting one, the Bank of England dollar in proof condition, estimate 1,500. I mean, some of the other English coins you've seen before, there's quite a few, not as extensive as some past sales we've had. It's a nice grade, isn't it? It's got a plain edge, so you look at it and you think, well,
Yeah, I know.
it's not necessarily struck over one of those Mexican dollars being proof, probably on a special blank.
Yeah.
The next one's a 1737, is a George III crown with an inverted V for A in Chittaman on the edge reading. So you can't see it unless you look at the edge, and it's a bit hard to find it, but it's really important. It's recorded in ESC on page 286. So it's such good condition, could bring a good price. It's estimated 1,500 for the specialist who like to collect George III crowns by variety. And there are plenty of them in England, I'm sure. So the rest of the English is all interesting. There's a nice proof florin which is illustrated on the front cover, Gothic florin, which I forgot to bring out to show you, but never mind. I couldn't show you all the coins. In the gold coins, it starts with an interesting coin, a broad of Charles II, which is featured in some of our ads, by Thomas Simon, dated 1662. Used to be called a pattern broad, but they reckon there was a small coinage of them of about 1,500 coins in 1662. That's a nice example. It comes from an Australian lady whose husband died, so he'd bought a good coin. It was a bit of a surprise. Estimate's 10,000, but just watch the auction and see how much it goes for.
Nice.
He's the man that made the Cromwell broad, so this is not that much later. So 20 shillings a broad. Now we get into world gold, and there's quite a few good bullion items, but there's a little section here. That sign over there is Roy von Bock's certificate for joining the society in 1952. He died 2 years ago, aged 100. And his carer came here with these coins, and I knew he collected the moher. In fact, I might have been boarding this one at the Pridmore sale in 1983. He collected the mower of 1841 with the lion and the palm trees. He kept raving on about the different varieties. There are basic varieties, and then there are tiny differences. I've tried to differentiate. In the end, she had 15 of these coins. 2 with the continuous legend, which is the rarer one. The first one there you're looking at is from the Pridmore collection. It's estimated at 1936. And it's estimated at 6,000. I don't think there's ever been, well, maybe Spinks have had them in stock, but I don't think there's ever been 15 at an auction before. Not only is the 15 coins, but also there's the obverse die for the divided legend one from the Calcutta Mint. So he was pretty keen on it. He used to trade years ago when he lived in Gordon at Bearcat Gold. He's originally family from Berlin, so I don't know whether the bear had anything to do with Berlin, calling it Bearcat Gold. This is the divided legend, lot 1940, and it's from Pridmore's collection as well. Estimate's 4,000.
They're lovely coins.
It's a lovely design. I nearly put it on the front cover in a big enlargement with the lion and the palm tree, but it's got too many other coins. People will be upset they didn't get any representation on the cover. I'm a Democrat, I give people a go. Bob's not here. He wanted a picture of the coin with a picture of a building behind it or something. It always takes longer to produce that sort of cover, and we work on a very tight time restraint here. You've got to move quickly. I mean, the next auction's not far away. How many lots have you brought in for me? I need lots. Good ones, though. Bloke showed me a picture of a holy dollar I sold years ago today. He's got it on his phone. I hope I can get that.
3096.
We've jumped in out of world coins, and we go past war medals, because I know you're not interested in war medals, and badges. There's a huge section. I would fill a catalogue normally. The Warwick Carey collection of badges, the best collection of Australian military badges ever seen. And then you go through world banknotes, which has got a nice collection of British banknotes, formed by a collector here in Sydney, including one of the early Bank of England ones by Henry Hayes. and one that was, which was lot 2721, which was put up as a prize at the Belgian Relief Fund in 1915, just after Anzac Day. And the ticket is written out by Jim Tyrrell, who used to be a cataloguer for Lawson's and had a business. And he's written down in the auction in 1915, reserve £20. And the thing's tatty, you know. That would be a huge price to pay. Maybe that's why it's still there with it didn't sell. Then you go through Australian notes. There's some, for the first time there's a section on postal orders, because we've advertised the sale in the postal order collectors magazine, so there's a good section there with postal orders illustrated. I know there's one or two of you interested in those. In the banknotes is one turned up from the New England hoard. I didn't look up its subsequent pedigree or anything, I just found that it's come in from somebody who had it. Well, that's a nice one to record. Lot 2913, it's estimated at $4,000 and graded as good, very fine. Sorry, 2913, isn't it? Yeah, 2913.
2913, yeah.
Otherwise very fine and rare. There is a £10, but that's different. It's trial. Okay, so that's a nice one, 4,000. Remember the New England hoard? Mark Friel and Colin Pitchfork wrote it all up in our annual report, 1974. How many of you still got your copy of that report? A lot of you are old enough to have one.
That's exceptional, that one.
Yeah.
I can remember the New England hoard because at one of the meetings
Yeah.
they were brought in and they were trying to sell them.
Shows how old you are.
Yeah, and I can remember thinking about buying one and I didn't.
The little bit of the rust
stupid.
from the tin there in that little corner there, that little nick, otherwise it's complete and full. So I'm glad you like that one, Ross. This one here, these came in at
Specimen.
the last minute, this auction. I mean, people can get things in right up to printing time almost. The woman sent this down from the country, and this one, the woman walked in, she was involved with designing the $10 note. This is the guy who did it, Harry Williams, and she's got all the paperwork, the letter from the Reserve Bank, and
Specimen.
the envelope. It's specimen.
Specimen 163.
Yeah, 0 numbers. And it's only $4,000. I said years ago if you'd have sold it it'd be worth about $8,000. So notes are, due to go up, I think. You just can't find them.
No, it's got specimen on the other side where the date usually is. Oh no, it's above.
No, the date's above it.
Date's a bit higher. Yeah.
I'll have a young look at those.
That's nice. How much is that?
4,000. There's
Wow.
the letter.
Okay, well I won't be buying it.
Why? It's only 4,000.
I don't have four split.
What do you mean? You've got stuff you can swap? Yeah.
No,
Stuff you're
I'm
not
not.
interested
What
in?
I have, I'm not selling, Jim.
There you go.
Yet. Yet.
Oh well, let's try and tempt you, Rodney. Is that interesting to see? I think so. Okay, now we
back to
go
the-
into the ancients.
Go back to
So
this one.
This one here.
3096.
This is happening on the Friday, April the 1st. As I said to a collector today, gave me a couple of bids. Remember, it's 9:30 on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. So he said, I might come to the auction. He's a character. He bids on good ancient Greek silvers. But this one, is the start of the ancient coins this time is gold. And this one's a coin from Cyzicus in Electrum, about 500 BC. Really nice condition. It was bought from Harlan Burke. I'm not sure what year. A similar one sold at Roma for £32,000. So we've got $8,000 on that. It shows the head of Athena to the left, and the reverse is just the quadrupart inq square. Interesting. And then always appealing to people, for eye appeal, is the large Ptolemaic gold. Here's one of Arsinoe, the second. It's a gold octadrama. I like to use the old language rather than the new gold Minoan, which whatever that is. Struck under Ptolemy II in 253 BC. It's estimated 17,000. Seems reasonably priced.
Nice.
Nice big gold coin. And there's a Roman gold coin of Domitian, estimated 8,000. I sold it in sale 60, and then I sold it in sale 121. So they do the round, some of them. Come back to you, like a boomerang. We want them to come back. You're only borrowing them. All of us are only borrowing them.
Yep, we need a temporary custodian, aren't we?
Yep. The coins have long outlived all of our mob. These go back to BC.
But it's nice to be the temporary custodian for a while.
So that's a 3108 is a Faustina Senior, wife of Antonius Pius. Thought I'd put a female out there because we've got a selection of Roman gold.
It's a nice stroke.
Yeah, it's estimated at 12,500. That's from sale 71. See, some people buy them and they hang on to them and then they sell them again. It can happen. You can do it too, you people. Then getting into the silver, this one is quite remarkable. It's the rare issue from Poseidon in Italy, in Lucania. 530 to 500 BC silver stater. Very archaic style. It's nearly EF and it's estimated at 9,000. Hasn't been seen before.
They're
Yeah.
amazing condition.
Yeah.
What is that here?
It's good to see.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, yeah, look.
You get them cheaper if you don't mind less condition.
That's what some of Laurie Sherwin's Greek in this sale are lower grade. We've still got some bronzes of his to list in the Greek series. But he bought the coin rather than worry too much about the condition. He did get some good condition coins, but this is a nice one of Sicily, Leontini. Toned, quite a nice coin, and a customer that rang me today wants this one. We'll see if he gets it. I'll try to get it. It's great as EF.
They
probably slab
Nice one.
This is a nice coin of Aenos of Thrace, city in Thrace. We sold one in the last sale. This one's a nicer example. It's a really nice one. And it came from Triton in 2014. That's the big C&G sale in New York City. So, a very good coin.
Well, it's probably go.
This is a tetradrachm of Lysimachus of Thrace in the likeness of Alexander the Great. Estimate of this one is 3,000. It's a special variant. Only a few examples of this mint in Coin Archives, which is a site where all the coins ever sold at auction get recorded if you're linked up with it. And they do it so that you can type in a particular coin and you can see many examples of that coin. Compare conditions and prices. This is a nice one from Triton 20, an acanthus. Lovely photograph, very well. Looks really beautiful for an archaic coin. Issued in 470 to 430 BC. Shows the bull nearly to the left being attacked by a lion on his back. Interesting what they depicted, isn't it, on coins? They had an imagination.
I think the lion's facing the wrong way. Usually when they attack them, they go for the throat.
This is a nice example, toning wise, of a didrama of Larissa in Thessaly. Beautiful facing portrait of a nymph Larissa.
And the horse.
And the horse is beautifully proportioned. This was struck 350 to 320 BC, so in the classical Greek art period.
It's lovely.
It's a beautiful coin.
Yes.
5,000, but you've got to pay 7 or more. I just got a bid for 7. Well, you know they're bargains in our sale. You just keep your hand up till you get them. Isn't that the rule?
Yes, it is. You just keep your hand up until you can't afford any more.
This one slipped its way into the silver section, but it's an electrum. The interesting thing about this coin is it's one that we sold to Hermes de Zan, who was the partner of the late great Australian artist Geoffrey Smart. And he bought it from us on 17th of October 2006. So it's a very rare and good condition piece for the type. Estimate is 8,000. Collins, the type ticket there. Does a good job, Mr. Pitchfork. He's still going. He would have come tonight, except he's coming to the ancient collectors. They're starting up their meetings here on Wednesday. They're going to meet every third Wednesday of the month. So I'm happy to do it. COVID's restricted a lot of this, and I've been happy because I've been in a mess here. I didn't want people coming in. But now we're back a little bit to normal. Try and clear things. That's a coin of Rhodes, another pacing portrait. It's from a C&G mail bid sale. It's a silver tetradrachm. It's a large denomination for Rhodes.
Yes.
So once again, a good selection of Greek coins and a lot of Roman coins. I can't show them all to you because you'd be here all night. But there are some lots where there's 50 or 80 coins in a lot. So I don't know how much interest you've got. I brought a couple of Roman to show you. 3, 4, 2, 3 is bronze.
4, 2, 3.
See the Greek go on for quite a while, and then the Roman provincial. It's incredible. 3423 is a Sestertius of Domitian, and it's in nice condition. Estimate 1,000. It's worn on the wreath on the head, but the metal's good. It looks good. Photographed well.
The reverse is nicer than the obverse.
Yeah. This one is 3457, which is a coin of Antoninus Pius. And Marcus Aurelius on the other side is Caesar. So it's from a C&G auction, 2012. It was acquired from Voller in Vienna in 1913, and it has the ticket there still, in 1913. So always keep your tickets and things that come with your coins, so we can keep track of the pedigrees, check them out. So one rare, this is again some bought from Roberts by the Sydney collector. 3476 is the rare ruler for Pertinax, and it's $1,000 estimate. But it's good metal, smooth, and well, rare to get that. Last but not least is a coin of Pupienus, 3515, and that is estimated $600. It's quite scarce. after the ancients, in the afternoon, and they go for 3 sessions, the ancients, at 4:30 we're selling the miscellaneous, which is Australian gold coin second quality, and there's masses of them. There's nearly 400 sovereigns there. Sydney mints through the different types, and only takes a few pages in the catalogue for a lot of money, and then we get
Jewellery.
coin cases, sovereign cases, bullion bars. There's a 10 ounce and a 5 ounce. There's gold necklaces and chains and things, and diamond rings. And there's a lady going to come to the auction and buy them all, she tells me.
Christine?
I like her. No,
No, Christine. Coming to the auction.
no.
The lady from Newcastle.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll be down. She was here the other day. I missed her, but she was here. Yeah. So there's interesting artefacts, and then there's like things like Bob collects and New Guinea head. He reckons he's not interested in it, but it's a very early, interesting piece. That painting there is by an Italian artist of the bloke that Captain Gregorio Fuentes. He, about 1992, he lived to be 104, but he was the bloke that Ernest Hemingway wrote about in Cuba, The Old Man and the Sea. That's the famous novel. And so that's an interesting subject, and that one shouldn't have been sold out of Havana, but it was. She was in Havana and she bought it, and she also bought this thing here, which is from Thailand, an oil. So, and a few other paintings are out the back, so you can see those. The cup up there on the end's Colin Pitchforks, which is here on loan for winning a prize for the Society. It's on loan, that exhibition thing. Sandy didn't want it at home or something. So I said, what's a good place to put it? And that's Roy Von Bock's certificate. Do you remember
That's
doing
the
that?
A&S Tom Hanley Cup.
Yeah, that's right, the Tom Hanley Cup, that's it. Yeah. All right, well, that covers the subject of the auction. There's estimates of $3.5 million. So if you add the buyer's boom, it's over $4 million. I won't sell everything. I'd like you to bid up on the expensive items. That always makes me feel better. You can put in early bids. You good? Hope I haven't taken too long. No.
I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Society for your presentation today.
Thank you, Matt.
For you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And can we have a photo? Photo op?
opportunity.
Oh, okay, that can be rare.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
I've just got the usual question, who wants coffee?
If you like coffee, put your hands up.
Stick your hand right up so I can...
And the rest will get tea.
The rest teas, are they?
Yeah, yes, please. Too late.
So I've had that, so 3 coffees. Wow. All right, 4.
Tea and coffee, cakes and biscuit. They'll come out and Tony will bring it out.
Well, that worked out not too bad. I reckon I spoke.